Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to talk about how DeepSeek set up a system called Deep Search. So first, we're going to define what Deep Search is. First, it was initially set up by ChatGPT. It's a system that allows for very advanced searches, and the quality of the report is as if it were done by an expert human or a high-level researcher. And generally, these are searches conducted in very specialized and advanced fields. And today, ChatGPT actually offers this for $200 a month, and you can only make 100 queries per month. And of course, DeepSeek tried to do the same thing, but of course, for free. So in this video, we're going to try to see how I can set up Deep Search from DeepSeek. We're going to install it locally. I'm going to show you how I can make use of this. But let's take a look at what Deep Search actually looks like. Deep Search, in fact, when you launch a query, a prompt, you'll see that it goes out onto the internet. But this time it takes much longer because it's going to perform very in-depth scientific analyses. What I mean by scientific isn't just scientific. We can do it for business, for work, for several other fields. And the result, as you will see, is simply a result that will give me a report to download. Thank you. And today, the way reasoning is done, it actually uses the browser. This means that we can see the browser opening up, and we will actually see how the reasoning works, how it navigates the internet, how it detects information. And that's what makes this system very, very powerful today. ChatGPT actually made a comparison between GPT-4o and Deep Search. And he clearly showed that the quality of the results is really very different. And this Deep Search is obviously of very high quality. You'll see it there. The accuracy, he compared Open and Deep Search. So he provided an accuracy in percentage, 26%. If we compare it with all the other models, even Google's, he even compared it with DeepSeek, it's 9.4. So today, what DeepSeek has done is simply try to launch its own Deep Search. I'm going to show you step by step how to install it, and we're going to try to look at some plans to see a bit of the result. Before starting the video, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Firas. I have a PhD in artificial intelligence, and I am a professor at the university. So, if this is your first time watching my video, I invite you to subscribe here because I post daily training, practical guides, and tutorials on the latest in artificial intelligence and digital marketing. And for those who are subscribed, I wanted to give them a little gift. It's exclusive access to my pack of 100 courses. So what do you think? In the descriptions of this video, there's a link to my e-learning platform with a special coupon. And that will give you access to 100 courses. So there are about more than 6,000 videos in various fields, marketing, artificial intelligence. So what are you waiting for to get started? And now I wish you a good training. So Deep Search today is actually available on a tool called Browser Use, so WebUI. So this is a tool that we're going to download. We're going to use it, and it's actually the one that will run the option. In fact, AI agents, and with the function actually Deep Search. So, of course, this is a little bit here. The advancements, in fact, and with the fixing of several errors, it's a very, very good project that I invite you to check out. It's a project today that has implemented Deep Search. So, to see just what the tool is for, it's browseruse.com, the website. So you're going to see here the accuracy is really huge. It's a tool that simply allows artificial intelligence to take control of the browsers and launch their searches and to capture information in real time. So that's a bit of the difference between when I launch a prompt with an artificial intelligence somewhere, it will, of course, look for the data that already exists in its database. And it can also just retrieve links from the internet and then analyze them. But if I give artificial intelligence the ability to go in real time to the internet and capture, to navigate like a human, but of course at a very, very high speed, the results are really there. So this is a tool. Today, it's true that it's a bit tricky, but we're just going to use the open source version, which is 100% free. We're going to install it on a local machine, and thanks to this open source, I'm simply going to launch the Deep Search option of DeepSeek. For that, of course, we'll just need to do a few installations, and I'll guide you step by step to install all these tools. So there's a whole documentation for this project, and I'll leave that in the description. So, of course, for those who want to go very, very far, just take a look at how it works. When artificial intelligence, in fact, takes over the browser. And of course, like here, it is browsing a document from Google Doc. You will see that this one, in fact, it can simply capture all the data and information, even the buttons, in fact, even the information. This way in which she can capture and write, it gives her the strength to do tasks as well, not just research, but tasks for preparing high-quality reports. It's like having an expert who operates your computer. You're going to see here, there's a little video, but I'm showing you the picture. You'll see that the tool, when it starts working in parallel, the artificial intelligence enters, it conducts searches. She clicks, but at a very, very fast speed. And it's capable, in fact, of reading all the code on the page. And that's the revolution, actually. Imagine AI, we give it, in fact, the ability to do that. You will see the quality of the report. It's extraordinary. It is of high quality. So now to install it, pay attention. This is the source code. Now we are, of course, going to download it. But to install it on your computer, you will need to have Python already installed. So you need to download Python. On your computer, you also need to install the virtual environment in the terminal. You need to run this command. You'll find it here available for Mac and also for Windows. So here, you need to install it in the terminal, and we also need to install the package, either on Mac or on Windows. It all depends on your operating system. We need to install the guide in order to download. So that's a little bit the prerequisites. Now to start the installation, go to this page. You will scroll down just here to start the installation. As we said, you will need Python and Git for it to work. So there, we just needed to install those tools. And then we need to open our terminal and run this command. So here we go. I'm going to copy the first command. So here, the first command simply allows you to copy and paste on my computer all this project. So all this code, we're going to copy it. With this command in our terminal, we will simply enter the folder in question. So to do that, I just come here, I simply do a copy paste and I hit enter. So what's going to happen now is that it will clone the folder onto my computer, and you see it has entered the folder because we use the cd command here to go into the folder. Very well. Now I need to run this command. So basically we're going to say use the Python environment. So now we're going to copy, attention, for the UV to work, you obviously need to install it. In fact, this command first on your machine, whether on Windows or Mac, so that you can use this command. So here I'm going to paste this command. I'm going to hit enter, take a good look at it. So it was installed very, very well. So this is just a note. There are some people, when he installs and runs that command, it tells him that it couldn't find the UV, which is completely normal. What you need to do is close that terminal and restart the computer to be able to use the UV. I always remind you, if there are any error messages, actually use the chat and just copy and paste the error message, and it will assist you in doing the installations. If you can't manage to do it, then it's just some blood. A little bit, I just need to activate the virtual environment. So here, I'm copying this command and I'm going to activate it. I'm going to hit enter. So it's activated. By the way, he started with the environment because he was given a name which is WEBUI. Next, I need to install the information that exists in that file. So that file already exists here. So we've already downloaded it. There are several actually. So here are the details like the browser, the navigator, and we will need to install all that information. So I come here, I paste it, I hit enter. You'll see that there it is. It will do all the necessary installations. It's very quick. So it has installed everything needed for it to run and for the system to work. I'm coming back here. I'm going down, so we're going to keep going. So once we've installed the necessary information, we're going to install what we call Playwright. So this one is going to give me the browser display. So here I click and I install it too. I hit enter. There you go. So it just completed the installation correctly. Now we need to configure the environment. So right now we're on Mac. So if you're on Windows, you need to take this command. For me, I'm on Mac. So now we're going to activate it. So now I'm going to copy that command and paste it here. I'm going to hit enter. Everything is good. So there's some information. He tells me, listen, if you want to use the API, actually there's a folder you can open to update the API in there. I'll show you. Here are the folder information that we installed together. And in that folder, there's a file Of course, you need to enable hidden files called .env. So this file, actually you can buy everything we call the supports. When you see it, there it is. We're going to increase the size here. This is for, if you work with open, there is, and you must put the key to plunder. If you're going to work with Google, and there you'll see if you're working with DeepSeek, you can put in the key. So be careful. If you have a DeepSeek API key, you can put it here. If you don't have it, no worries. We can work with DeepSeek locally. So we won't need the API. I'm going to show you that in detail. And even if you have the key, for example, I don't put it here. I put it on the real-time interface. And you actually have the choice to use your API or not. So that's a choice to make later. Okay, so now I close this file, I come back here. So normally the environment is great. I'm going down a little bit for the usage. So that's the usage actually. That's how we can launch our tool. So he tells me to copy this to start the local server, as you can see right here. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going back to my terminal. I'm pasting that. I'm hitting enter. You'll see that it's currently creating that environment. So he's writing to me in the local address, that port. So now we can hit enter. So everything's good. So what I need to do actually, I'm going to come back here to show you. There you go. He actually gives me the local address that I need to use. So I'm just going to copy that address like this. I'm going back to my browser and there you go. I'm in the interface. So I'm going to shorten the URL a bit so you can see. There you go. I'm on the local address here. So that's it. I can manipulate. The browser uses WebUI. And you'll see that there's this option called Deep Search that was recently added to this tool. So now I'm on the tool. You'll see the first option to do is to go configure the model. You'll see in terms of models, there are several models. And what I'm interested in are the psyches. When I select the psyches, you'll see that he tells me, listen, if you haven't added the API key in the environment folder or in the environment file, I can just drop it here. That's one option if I have the key. If I don't have the key, you know that the psyches are receiving a lot of attacks today. Creating a key isn't something everyone can do. So either you have an old key, then you can use it with an old credit, of course. Otherwise, there's no option to use it. Otherwise, the second option, I can come here and actually select Ollama. When I select Ollama here, you'll see it gives me versions of DeepSeek that have been manually installed on my machine. That means I have DeepSeek here locally, which means I can use it without having to call DeepSeek online. That means I'm using the data, the information that's on the PC, and it has all the power to browse the internet as well and to produce results just like DeepSeek. In progress, it's the local DeepSeek. And to have that option, it's simple. You need to go to the Ollama website, as you can see here. You'll click here to create an account, and you'll see that there are several models. So there, it obviously gives you several models. So right now, I received DeepSeek. If you can't find it, the first thing to do is just type it in here. You enter DeepSeek, and it will simply give you DeepSeek. If I go in here, you'll see that it gives you several versions. And these versions depend on your machine. If you have 16 GB of RAM, use the 7B, 8B. There you go. If you have a little more, that means with 32 GB, you can start working between 14B and 32B. And to honestly go to 70B. That one, the 43 GB, you really needed a very, very powerful machine starting with between 64 GB of RAM and more, not to mention the processor. And the graphics card needs to be very, very powerful. But already the 8B one, at least that's what I recommend, or the 14B, that's fine. For local testing on the machine, that's great. For testing, it's very, very good. You can also use it. So once you take that, you'll see it simply shows you here to copy this into your terminal. He needs to have copied it. It works just fine without any issues, of course. Don't forget that. For Ollama, in fact, you simply had to create an account and above all, download the Ollama on a local machine. That's important either on Nix or on Windows. Once it's installed, and once you've launched the command to download the model, you'll see when you come back here, you'll detect them here just like I do. So that's for the usage. Once that's done here, that's when I can click on Deep Search so that I can launch Deep Search with DeepSeek on the local machine. All right, so here we're going to put another prompt. So this is a default prompt. So here we're going to put a prompt where I'm going to work on the habit and the weather in France. So I'm giving him this so he can give me a little real-time report on what's happening in France today. And you'll see that I've set the maximum number of iterations to 3 searches. And the maximum number of queries, just 1 request, actually 1 request per iteration. I can certainly increase it. That all depends on the complexity of the topic. And all that's left to do is to click here on Run. You'll see that here, if I also look at my system, it will also show me what it's doing. It may be that sometimes when I launch, the browser does not trigger to see the details, but that's okay, because either you will see it in real time or it will do it internally to give you the result. It all depends on the power of the model you're using locally. So when I start the search, it will take several minutes, that's for sure. Look, it's starting that search and beginning with the first iteration. We're going to let it run for a little while to work. And then, of course, it shows you how much it's doing. You'll see that even the browser will open, so it's opening automatically. You'll see that even the browser will open, so it's opening automatically. I'm going to let it run for about 4 to 5 minutes, since we're working on the local machine, and I'll show you afterwards. The result that will display it normally here in the local machine of our Browser Use WebUI will finish the job. Already, when I look at the browser level, you will see that it has done a lot of tests. In fact, until it reaches the 3rd attempt to find the necessary navigation, and then it finished and the farm, and so the browser. So when I come back, I actually find the report that it just sent me. So it took about 4 minutes in total to give me that report, a report where I asked for the weather information in France for today. So I specified actually that it should be compared to today, and afterwards you'll see that this is the report it gave me. So there you go, regarding several regions, and it gives all the data, the humidity, and even here we find comparisons with the seasonal average, and afterwards he made his conclusion. It actually gave me, of course, the references where it worked with, and above all, I can download it. In fact, the report as well, so there you go. This is the report that I'm a version of Mr. That's where I can use it actually with other software and tools. So here it is. I have the report here, so here from Browser. I can simply use it locally with the artificial intelligence of the model, so deep. And especially there, I actually activated the R1 mode to work with reasoning. And there you go. We actually managed to run DeepSeek with its deep research function on the local machine. And I have quite a few plans that I want to use. Above all, I would really like to ask DeepSeek to generate reports on ideas, online projects, profitable projects today based on the internet. These are the prompt people that I want to test, that I want to launch. So if you're interested in doing a little live session together to launch this kind of prompt, please write to me in the comments live DeepSeek. If many of you are asking for it, we'll schedule a specific date and time to share these requests together and have a little live discussion for about an hour and a half at most. Let me know if you're interested. Type leave DeepSeek in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. So if you have any questions, feel free to write to me in the comments. I'm doing my best to answer all your questions. And if you like the video and want to see the upcoming updates, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and see you soon.